Hello everybody and welcome back to my Hunter solo series. This time we're going to be tackling the Stockades. For those who have been watching the entire series, I want to touch base on a few things, just so full disclosure, that kind of thing. And I also wanted to point out that I am recording these in advance and I'll be releasing them over time just to give people a steady amount of content if they're into this sort of thing. So if after my last video you left a comment and this video begins as if you didn't make that comment, that would be why. It's not that I'm ignoring anybody. Anyways, I just first wanted to point out that we did get a moss agate in the last run, and I've held on to it, and that's because come time for Nomuragon, there's a quest item that drops off of the Dark Iron Dwarves in there that it's very worth the XP to do the entire chain, and it doesn't take long. You just hop into Ironforge, basically. But part of the requirements for that quest is a moss agate as well as 1 silver bar, so we'll be keeping one of those if we should find one of those. Anyways, so the topic I wanted to talk about was pet aggro. I had tamed a translucent cat that I really like that can be found in the ruins of Mephistra in northern Darkshore. And after switching to that pet, I was more and more seemed to be taking aggro away from my pet. Now, this kind of confused me because my understanding were that pets have been normalized, so all the same, I did some research online and it does seem that some pets have different abilities and as a result may or may not hold aggro differently. Now, I went out and tamed a core hound. I abandoned my wolf, even though he was the one that was holding aggro better, just because I don't want to have to go track down that translucent pet again if I decide I want to keep it later. Plus I'll get call pet 3 at 34, so I can reacquire a wolf pretty easily. Anyways, the reason why I chose Core Hound was because on Petopia they said that like once a minute they'll have this ability where they get like a lava skin that does more damage to melee attackers, and I thought, well, that would be a good way to help build up aggro. Once I tamed him, I did take him into Stranglethorn Vale and try to like tackle some mobs that were a bit higher level than me to see if I could get that to trigger. I didn't see it happen at all, so take that with a grain of salt. I did notice though that I did get Ancient Hysteria, which is really weird because I would assume that would be a talent that wouldn't be, or an ability that wouldn't be available until later. Still, it's nice to have it here. We'll try it out on the final boss. I say final boss because it's got a debuff attached to it that's a 10-minute cooldown, so I don't want to lock myself out of that. And the other thing I'm going to be doing to address the aggro issue is ever since I got Dire Beast, and especially the accompanying Wild Call, I've been favoring that overkill command just in case it procs. I can get all the beasts out there and stuff like that. However, if I were to favor kill command over Dire Beast, then conceivably I could get an extra kill command in per pull, an extra kill command or 2 in per boss, for example. So I think that's one way I can kind of help address the aggro issue. But if you have a different thought, let me know in the comments. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and get this run started. It's a relatively quick run, so some good cloth can be found in here. Mostly wool, I believe, so it's not going to be of much use to me since I'm on to silk with my first aid. A lot of AoE, so that's kind of nice. I also have rearranged the pet bar to have Growl and Thunderstomp visible to me. That way I've got a clearer picture on when the aggro developers will be coming out of my pet. That way if I got multiple targets, I can command them to like shift before he growls again to try and address the aggro issue there as well. So anyways, here we go. I'm still going to pull with Dire Beast just to, especially come level 30, I'm going to take the talent Stomp to get the AoE and extra damage. That should help with keeping aggro off me as well. I'm also going to not be using
I don't have a target.
what am I trying to say? I was trying to figure out why he wasn't attacking me. I'm also going to be using Mend Pet less frequently because that's also probably a reason why I'm having aggro issues. Most of the time I simply don't need to be casting it when I was, so that's another thing I'm going to do differently. Like right now I can see my pet's not going to be a health issue by the end of the fight, so I'll just wait till after the fight and cast it then. I don't want to wait until the very end of the fight like I just did now. I want to try and cast it near the end of the fight, because by then I'm not going to have aggro issues, and I don't want it still ticking when I go into the next bowl, because that would defeat the purpose. Okay, so it would appear that what I've done here as far as like trying to address the aggro issue is probably good, because I did just multi-shot a couple times and I managed to not pull aggro even on the underling ads, so that's a pretty good indication, I would think. Alright, we hit level 29, which means I gotta remember to heal up my pet, because every time we level he misses out on a bunch. And I read something that gives me an idea as to why that happened. It would seem that because he's in Tenacity Spec, he's got some various talents that give him a great deal more health. So it would appear that when I level, he levels to like base, and then the buffs are applied, you know, behind the scenes, which means he ends up having a depleted health pool. Now, obviously, that's not a good thing, but that's probably the explanation for it. Okay, this is going to be a problem because we face pulled. I was doing good up until he died, so I'm thinking that what I've done to change my aggro issues is probably working out. Go ahead and bandage up. Towards the very end of the fight, because I was chatting, I accidentally favored Dire Beast over Kill Command, so that's something I'm going to watch out for moving forward. But thus far, I think I'm satisfied with the changes I had identified. Now, because this is a boss fight, I am going to keep Men Pet rolling. And I anticipate that that will only be a problem in the event that my pet dies and I have to revive him, because you know what, I was saving my focus for Cobra Shot when the boss was going to disappear, so that wasn't a good idea. Anyways, what I was saying is that I anticipate the only time that would be a problem keeping the Men Pet rolling by default is if the pet should die, because then if I have to revive it, I'm assuming that the revived pet's got a empty aggro at that point, so piece of cake. Oh wow, okay. I wasn't expecting to get upgrades from the bosses, but we got boots upgrades, so that's very welcome. Okay, I'll come down here. If I did familiarize myself with the loot table before coming in, I'd have a better idea of which wing I wanted to favor here. I do know that moving forward I do want to favor casters. That's something I normally do anyways, but when I was looking into how I can deal with this aggro issue, I've come to identify that it's probably a little bit more important here. Yeah, for some reason when there's multiple mobs like that, once my pet kills one, it seems like he just sits there. And I want to look into how to fix that. I think he's the caster here. So at times like that, I'm just going to have to tab over and use the kill command macro to command pet attack until I can figure out if I'm just imagining these things or not. Okay, I don't want to send my pets in. I do kind of want a line of sight, because at least one of these is going to be a... You know what? What if I move pet to... I just don't want to face pull the boss here. I was thinking if I move the pet, but last time I fumbled trying to get him back onto follow and attack, so I'm going to see what I can do here. Let's just move him here, see if he can face pull, and then I'll pull him back. He's not aggroing. What's up? Oh, there we go. Oops, I forgot to get the heal rolling before the end of the fight. It's not going to be too important here because we're pulling a boss, and so I'm going to keep it rolling on the boss, or during the boss anyways. So the fact that I forgot to put it up towards the end of the fight, it's not such a problem. Okay, the fact that he burned me might not have to do with aggro at all. Could just be the mechanics of the boss trying to include everybody in the party. Because he's not glowing red or anything. But that could be the result of me using tidy plates, so I don't know. There's a couple things I've noticed in the game since I installed tidy plates, and I don't know if it's a Legion patch change or the use of an add-on. Namely, when I see members of the other faction, their bar appears orange to me. And that was never the case before. They were either blue if they weren't flagged for PvP or red if they were. Alright, this can be a complicated pull. So I'm just going to manually pull and then line of sight. No, maybe not. Didn't work out that way. Alright, just got to try to keep eyes peeled. There's like 2 paths here, and if you're not careful, you'll end up pulling like the first half of this hall. So you know, obviously that's not a good thing. Here comes a path, and there was a path that went into this room over here. Here comes another one. Yeah, that's exactly. I didn't realize Thunderstomp was in such a long cooldown. I guess I should be grateful whenever it is available when I need to. Yeah, I don't want this pulling like that room and this guy all at the same time. Typically, this can be a very sticky pull in general. At least while you're soloing. If you're with a party, usually you can handle those degrees of ads. Okay, I'm getting the habit of trying to hot them up prior to the end of the pull. Alright, this is going to be another time where I face... Problem is I think if I shoot, my pet will go in, and I don't want him to. Attack you. Assist. Okay, maybe that's what I want for this particular point in time, especially since I'm already getting the habit of using my macro to hold on. Nice. It's working out, I think. Nice, very nice. Okay. So for these line of sight pulls, I think the idea is going to be to definitely keep him on defensive. Go. Alright, I think I'm getting the hang of it all. Good deal. I wish I had my silence here, because this guy cast something to silence it. Alright, there I should have put him back to assist. No, I'm thinking. Damn. Got a dire beast proc right when the cooldown was up anyways. That's unfortunate. Here we go. That saves us a little time. I also found that I've been using Cobra Shot a little too liberally. Not that it's bad at this level, but it would be a good idea for me to get in the habit of using it more quote-unquote correctly, so that as I level up, it's not like having to unlearn a bad habit. I'm still doing it as I talk about it. There we go. Piece of cake. Alright, let's see if the quest rewards give us any upgrades. We got the one from the first boss, which was nice. Head, finger... Nope, these are all things we have as heirlooms. So it looks like we'll be 30 by the time we get out of here, so it'll be time for talent, which is nice. Oops. Look at my map. Nice and quick. But it puts us on a level for normal ground, so that's nice.
Good day to you. See you later.
Alright, we'll go ahead and take the Stomp talent. I guess for endgame, Chimera Shot's better. Dire Frenzy actually says it replaces Dire Beast, so I don't even know how that would work. Like, if we chose that, I'm assuming I'd have to get rid of Dire Stables because it just wouldn't work anymore. I had considered it, though, because if anything would help with the aggro problem I was having before, it would definitely be buffing my pet's ability to do damage. Oh, also, when I was playing around with the bar, and I really wish I knew why this talent, or this ability, keeps disappearing. Is it because I truly do not have access to it? You know what, I'm just going to try it now. Okay, I have access to it, so I don't know why it keeps disappearing. But anyways, I didn't even notice before that I had a last stand, so that one boss where my pet actually died, like I could have prevented it. So I gotta stay on these cooldowns a little bit better. Like, I forgot to cast this every single boss. I forgot I had this, so I'll have to try and keep a closer eye on that from one video to the next. Anyways, I'll go ahead and take Stomp, and that'll be nice. When I throw the Dire Beast and get that AoE Stomp, which is really nice. I'm actually loving the synergy here. Like, the Dire Beast gives us more focus. Our auto shot crits, we have a chance of refreshing it, or always refreshes, I don't know, which allows us to cast more, which gives us more focus, and now will be more AoE damage, which... You know what? I wonder if the Dire Beast's AoE damage is aggro that accrues to me. Maybe that's why I was having aggro issues. I don't know. We'll see about that moving forward. This run we didn't have the same aggro issues. So at this point I'm going to assume that my pet family of choice and my priority shift is a success. But we'll see more going forward. Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you do have any tips for me, especially you seasoned veteran hunters, especially the seasoned veteran hunters that are very familiar with the changes in Legion and whatnot, by all means leave me a comment, because I want to learn too. I never gave Hunter a fair shake, and I really am enjoying a lot of the things I'm reading about it and what it's capable of, etc. And the leveling process has definitely been easier than that of a Paladin, which is, I think, is one of the ones I've had the most success in solo leveling through dungeons. The Paladin has a self-heal, which is why I was able to do Subjugator in Black Fathom Deeps, I think it's called, whereas I wasn't able to as a hunter. But otherwise, anyways, I'm done babbling. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.